Tomas Mauricio. Come on down. Tyler Kistner. Come on down. David Romero. Come on down. Heath Elsonson. Come on down. You're the first four contestants on The BS and Beer is Right.
Na 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 na. Hey, gotta love that podcast show. Na 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 na. Hey, yeah, I love that podcast show. Oh, BS and Beer is the place to go to get all the Saints news. Hell yeah, podcast show. Na 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 na. Hey, gotta love that podcast show. Na 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 na. Hey, yeah, I love your podcast show.
Too. Hope you loving it. Hey, it's the BS and Beer podcast crew. Dave Romero, Heath Elsonson, Tomas Mauricio, recording from our virtual studios here at the SEC Pub. So from, I went off the wrong direction.
Yes.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
We got to start off with our sponsor. Listen,
all right,
you just can't expect us to do this. We've been doing it for years now. We're doing it for free. Got to pick up some money somewhere.
Yep.
Hose water. Whether you've been playing hard or working hard, when your thirst needs to be quenched, there's hose water. Found at any retailer where sports drinks are sold.
Right.
And notice that
Connected
ours
to
has
your
the brass
faucet in the
fitting.
backyard if you don't want to pay $4 for it.
We're not charging $4.
Hose water.
$7.
Yeah, it is.
I thought
Get
you
yours
said.
today.
It is right there.
What is the equivalent of Bitcoin for $7?
Oh,
0.0021.
Is
yeah,
it?
something like
You
that.
got it all
I don't
figured
know.
out?
Yeah, hey, look, I'm in Bitcoin.
I have no idea what, but I heard him talking about it on the news the other day,
Hey,
and I'm
it's a
like,
hot
so
subject.
it's kind of something real. I thought it was really a joke.
Just like hose water is real.
It's real.
Yeah.
Listen, the brass fittings, pure water comes from
Now,
the hose.
I have to tell everybody, look, this is our prototype. And because of the cost involved, it is in a plastic bottle for right now. However, my good friend Heath has told me, Tomas, we cannot sell it using plastic bottles.
That's right.
We're going to go to glass.
Yeah.
So, Heath, why is that exactly?
Because plastic is full of estrogenics.
There you go.
It's a feminization of man.
And
There you go.
we didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
And every year, generation, our grandparents are like thinking we all becoming sissies.
That's right.
But really
Yeah.
it's because we're drinking out of plastic
Yeah.
bottles, right?
That's right.
Middle-aged men today have half the testosterone level of middle-aged men in the 40s and 50s.
There you go.
Half.
Crazy. And you have to, man, if you watch Saving Private Ryan,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you have to believe that is accurate because
Yeah.
there ain't no way in the world anybody in this generation.
Is
I
doing
like to
that.
believe I'm pretty tough. I'd be
Yeah.
like, oh hell no, you shoot me now, I'm not getting on that thing.
Yeah.
I'm not getting on it. So
That's
well, I
right.
don't think what's ironic if you really know the history of it is that most of the beach was accessible. It's just a few unlucky souls that they made that movie about. If you haven't seen it, great
It's
movie.
a great movie, yeah.
Great movie.
Yeah.
Beginning scene, I'm
Oh, it's
sure.
fantastic,
You know
yeah.
how long movie's been out for a while.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
So there might be some younger people that maybe their parents didn't want them to see it or whatever, but great movie. And that opening scene was the unlucky small percentage
Correct.
that met resistance
Yeah.
because apparently they've been bombing that beach for like
long
weeks
time,
and created holes where everybody was just going through except for the handful of guys
Yeah.
that movie or that first scene was made.
Yeah.
Boy, oh man,
It was
can
rough.
you
huh?
imagine?
No?
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
No,
Anyway,
I can't, actually.
No,
I said
actually-
yeah, but no, I can't.
look, we have an
This
action.
is why you have to start drinking hose water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had to bring it back.
Yeah.
I'm not sure where the whole tie-in to that is,
Yeah.
but because of Private Ryan and that scene, you got to drink hose water.
Those men used to drink hose water. That's the connection. At that time, we didn't have any public water fountains. We didn't have any bottled water. You didn't have water delivered to your door. You were thirsty. You went around the side of the house. You got your hose out. You had to swallow hose water.
If you want to be a man, is
There
what
you
he's
go.
saying.
Yeah.
If you want to be a
Filled
man,
with the right minerals.
If you want to have a big manly hose, you got to
There
drink
you go.
hose water.
There you have it.
All
And
right.
Heath would
Yeah.
know.
there you go. I wonder
As
how many.
opposed to Dave with 4.5. But that's okay.
How did I get drug into this? You see, how I don't know how.
Now, who's responsible for this unwarranted attack on my person?
I'm just saying.
This happens all the time. I've added some new clips. There's some things wasn't working, and I actually spent an extra 15 minutes. I told you last week I shook it didn't work. So, but I actually, when you guys get out of hand,
See, I could've said something different.
Order, I said.
He's not drinking hose water.
That's correct. Dave, as the host of this show, I'm going to make sure that you get one of the first bottles of hose water.
I thought I'm supposed to get all kind of free stuff, aren't I? So what's it? Swag now it's called.
Yeah, they'll be in your swag bag.
All right, it's my swag bag from our
so
sponsor,
that your swag bag can do better.
Hose Water. I wonder how many people right now are like looking up hose water on the internet trying to figure out.
We're not marketing it yet.
No.
You see, we're in the prototype position right now. This is the prototype of hose water, right?
And he's holding
It's
it
already-
up. If
it's
you're
already-
watching the VCast, you can
Yeah.
see
That's
it.
right. Now, if
it-
you're not watching the VCast, I'll just tell you, it's a nice, beautiful bottle, square, because we don't want to use round bottles.
No, that's too cliche.
Yeah. So, but you'll notice that the picture that we're going to be using has a brass
Yeah.
fitting on it.
Crush proof.
Well, just in case, I have also made an arrangement with a provider of replacement brass fitting.
There you go. Is it from overseas? You getting some Chinese brass fittings?
No, Houma, Louisiana.
I knew you were going to say that.
Houma, Louisiana.
There you go.
Is that where they make brass fittings?
That's
there?
correct. Houma,
Yeah.
Louisiana.
Interesting.
Is it?
I didn't even know that.
Well, now you've know.
See, you're a wealth of knowledge and
Absolutely,
experience.
I try to be.
No, that's what
know?
you bring to the table.
Well, thank you.
That's what you bring
That's
to the
because I
table.
drink hose water.
Heath brings in the scientific elements, and I just let you guys go at it. I just let you go at it, and then when
The
I need to break you
conversation.
up,
We are conversationalists.
that's what we do. That's what we do. And,
So go on now.
And we need to, because I was going to start. I'm glad you interrupted me, because I was going to start going down the list of exciting Saints news that we have for you this
Woohoo!
week. I got to tell you, there's not much going on here. The one interesting thing
Yes.
is our boy Winston from Tampa Bay gets suspended. That's the big news. Here's the thing, and I found this maybe the most interesting part of it
Yeah.
is the line for the opening game against Tampa Bay was Saints 7-point favorites.
Right.
He gets suspended, and the line doesn't move.
Because they already knew.
Either they already knew, or they don't really think that he's that valuable in the process.
Yeah. The spread might even be less if they have a different quarterback.
Well,
Yeah.
if they bring up somebody from the bench, yeah, it might.
I don't even know who else they have. Do we know
They
who
have the
else
guy who was at the Jets with the beard from Harvard.
Oh,
Fitzpatrick?
Fitzpatrick.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, well that's who's I'm
and
assuming.
then the
is gonna be
third
starter.
guy is his name is Ryan Garrett. I have to think about it. I can't think now what the third string guy is. It'll come to me.
All right.
Yeah, I don't know how important that is. I mean, at this point, though,
Well, he
in
might
this
be
show,
playing.
at this for this show, we might need to go in depth
Because
about this
our
Ryan
number
guy.
one draft choice might come around that corner and tattoo Fitzpatrick. He'll be gone. So then we're looking at the next guy.
Yeah.
All right, so something else I have on the list here.
All right, go ahead.
Did you see on the news where that hot dog hit that woman in the face?
Yes.
I had a top 10 list for you. I just thought it was too soon. I didn't do it. I didn't put it together. A flying wiener
Yeah.
hits a woman in the face, busted her up pretty good. But they gave her a free ticket.
Yeah.
And that I thought was just very sweet of
Yeah.
them. You hit a woman. I mean, she literally had a black eye.
I saw
Now,
it.
I mean, I've seen some wieners flying around
I bet you have.
on TV.
Oh, yeah, well, too late.
Damn it. All right. I don't know how to get out of that one.
In the interview after, though, she said that wasn't the first time she'd ever been slapped in the face with a wiener. So
There you go.
it was all right.
She's a champ. She's
Yeah.
a champ. She's an experienced veteran.
Yep.
Like these things happen to me all the time. And, I took one for the team.
That's right.
Yeah.
You know,
And
got
she said
me-
she took a ruler out to make sure that it wasn't just 4.5.
Took one from the team, too.
There you go.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
So also,
Boom, boom.
also there was a video.
Oh,
Had nothing to do with wieners. All right.
Keep order here.
all right.
Keep order, I said.
All right. So Case Keenum goes and does a film breakdown of the playoff the
Yeah.
play, the game-winning play in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I started watching it. I fell asleep.
Did he actually try to insert any skill into that? Did he
Yeah,
suggest
no, that's
that there
what
was skill in
by
it?
the video. I watched it for a little while, and then when I looked down, there was still like 4 minutes left, and I'm like, what can he possibly be trying to tell you?
Yeah.
That somehow it was a well-constructed play. That
Unless
by
he was
design,
telling you at this point we thought it was over and this is all we had left, and still to this day can't believe that happened.
Right.
Anything short of that, and he was.
How does it take you? How does it take you 4 minutes to explain like it was amazing? I mean, I threw the ball up and I can't believe what happened. It's but to try to explain it like somehow but he did. He spent about 7 minutes explaining how that play works. So anyway, so that's all the show we have for you this week.
Is that it?
All right. Hey, listen. I guess I'm serious. We can get this show started. I feel
All
a
right.
certain commitment to our.
Now, before we get started, now, Dave, there is a way for people to contact us.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Why don't
and
you
what-
tell
what
them
is
what?
that?
Oh, you want me to tell
Yeah,
them?
well, you're the
701-901-1295.
And what is that?
That's the graffiti hotline.
The
graffiti
hotline.
Call the
Okay,
graffiti
got
hotline. You leave us a message. Be part of the show. We kind of begged people last week. We're like, could you, leave us a message, help us out?
Yeah.
Nah,
They didn't get
didn't.
nothing.
Cricket.
It's just inconsiderate. Inconsiderate. They tell me it's not a good thing to like fuss at your audience.
No, you shouldn't.
That's
you
what I
should
was doing
thank
right
them
there.
all the time.
Thank you for not calling.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, we
We know you had a busy week. Your time is valuable, and we understand that.
Lit-
And so if you can call, we'd appreciate it. But if you can't, we appreciate you.
so diplomatic. Lil
Yeah.
Dice did leave twice. Lil Dice, I think on Twitter, said he needed an update on the what is it, the bug assault, the gun I got for Christmas.
yes.
I told him during summer, I kind of live in a rural area. It's a neighborhood, but we have a lot of land, so we get the bugs and stuff. And I couldn't wait. But I think word must have leaked out because I'm telling you, I was sitting there with that gun out and there are no flies. No. So I don't know. It didn't work out. I wish I had an update with the video. I think I get the
I
phone.
could use it for them Japanese beetles that eat my damn roses.
Really? Think that worked? I don't know. I shot something. I don't know what it was, but it didn't. I'm telling you, it gets flies though. The flies.
Yeah.
The
done.
flies are done.
Done
Yeah.
deal. I mean, you hit
Any
a fly
bug bigger
just
than
like.
that is like
And what's cool, and this is how they advertise, is like you hit a fly with a fly swatter, and it kind of smushes everywhere.
Yeah.
But you get this bug assault, the fly just like boom, dropped, and all intact and everything. So it was. I mean, that's quality.
it could be that it's a brain trauma.
It could be rapid deceleration, something like that.
Maybe what does it shoot?
Salt.
Or yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
maybe it
bug
kills
or
it and embalms it at the same time.
the
same
That's what
time.
it is. It's drying it out. And
Yeah, it's just
There you go. Could be.
Done.
It sounds like a superhero movie, man.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. All right. So
what happens when you shoot your kids with it?
I don't know. We were gonna. Maybe we can arrange something. We were gonna have. What did I say?
Keep order here. Keep
I'm
order,
just saying,
I
you said
say.
about the fly, and instantly I thought about the famous movie, The Fly.
I know. I've worked with you guys long enough to know when things are starting to come off the rail. So if I get ahead of it, then there's less problems
all right.
in the future.
All right.
I
Let me
was
take a sip
hoping.
of my hose water, and I'll
Yeah,
feel
yep.
better.
I had pretty tasty hose water there. I was gonna have a
Minerals.
special soccer report from our dude Tyler, but we couldn't get the microphone working. We have a microphone; it's an expensive microphone. We put it up. Here's the thing: just to make the studio, I ran all the cables through the ceiling. I may have ran a bad cable through the ceiling,
There you go.
and so that's going to
Should
be all
always
kind of.
check it before you run it.
I know better, but I think I was in a hurry.
Being a band, man, you know we always do that.
Oh, no, you gotta
it
check,
first
yeah.
before you tape the damn thing down. you
No,
know?
I don't think I did. So Tyler's in there. He
Measure
signed it.
twice, cut once, all that stuff.
Yeah, oh, that's for amateurs, bro. That's like when I play music, that's amateur stuff like staying in tune and singing in keeps. You just go out there and rock out, baby.
That's it.
Just-
Keep drinking. It sounds better as you keep drinking.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
the drunker. At least you can entertain the crowd with just being funny.
There you
Yeah.
go.
So, all right, so let's get this show started.
Let's get it started.
All right, welcome back. It's the BS and Beer Podcast crew. Dave Romero, Heath Elson, Tomas Mauricio. Listen, we not a whole bunch of stuff, but one of the interesting things going on right now is the top 100. I really don't pay that much attention to it. Haven't, but we got down to the top 10,
Yep.
and let's see. I only went 8-1, but
Well, 10 to
number
9.
10 was
Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers.
Here, he's got it up here.
All right, number 10, Aaron Rodgers. Number 9,
Von Miller.
Von Miller. Where it gets interesting, number 8, Drew Brees,
Underrated.
underrated. All right, Aaron Donald, for at number 7.
Yeah.
Todd Gurley
Those two should be backwards.
at number
least.
6.
Yep.
And then let's see, number
5.
5 would be Bell.
Yep. Levon Bell.
Levon Bell. Julio
4.
Jones at 4.
Good God Almighty.
Carson Wentz at number 3.
You got to be joking.
Brown from Pittsburgh at number 2. And
Antonio.
Brady, number 1. All right, so
I was just choking just now.
all right, Heath, what's the first thing that pops into your head looking at this list?
Well, man, I think, Breeze ought to be higher, and the first person that jumps off of my list is, I think the guy was right in front of him, man. I like Aaron Donald, or what's his name? Is that Aaron?
Yeah, Aaron Donald.
Yeah, Aaron Donald. But I don't think he's ahead of Breeze for sure. That's the first
number
thing.
7.
Yeah.
Tomas, first thing that jumps off to you.
Breeze should be one of the top 3. That's in my opinion.
Okay.
If you're going to put Wentz at number 3, what did he do?
Well, okay, and this is an argument I made during the break is, before he went out, he was playing at an MVP level.
Okay.
But Heath, I
Deshaun
feel
Watson,
like
before he went out, was playing at MVP level.
Yeah.
This is the point. I don't want to steal your thunder because during the break you make a very good point. It's the guy who came in to replace him, lit it up. Well, maybe not right away, but won a Super Bowl. Not even on the list.
Yeah.
So
yeah, like I said, it depends on what the criteria is. Okay, best players of 2018 based on what? Pure statistics? How far they took it? What is the criteria?
Yeah.
And we don't know. You said this was voted on by the players?
By the players. Yeah,
Well, what
get
did
a
they
sheet.
ask the players?
Well,
what did
get
they
a
say?
sheet.
Just
They get a sheet, and they vote on that sheet, the players. I think they get the sheet by positions. And they vote, and then they tabulate, I guess based on how many votes were for each player.
well,
on the
right,
list.
but the question is, does the sheet lay out any criteria for what?
I don't know.
Or they
What I
just
saw on the
whatever
TV,
your
no.
opinion is of whoever the best players
I think
are,
that's all it is. I think it's just an opinion.
Yeah.
well, one of the things that I like the least about it is, there you go. Carson Wentz misses, a very good portion of the
Rest of the season, yeah.
and so did Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
But Aaron Rodgers, while if I'm not talking relative to Breeze, but how are you a top 10 player in 18 when you didn't even play the majority? I'd sit here and make an argument for Wentz because I tell you what I saw. I saw an MVP level player. Not that I disagree with your arguments, but Rodgers, he didn't play the majority of the season.
No, I know.
And number 10, it just kind of loses its luster when you're just saying this is no longer the best players of 2018. It's the best players in the league.
Right.
And so then, okay, so now you're just saying, hey, it's a career thing. Now you're going to start arguing.
Right.
Wentz, he's a rookie. How in the world is he ahead of Drew Brees if you're going? And that's where it just gets kind of silly. If you're going to vote for a guy who didn't even play during the season, then it just kind of destroys the whole idea that this is the best players of 2018. How many guys, and I don't know, but I bet you there are a couple of guys that probably came in a backup role, had 4 receptions for 160 yards. Well, there you go. He has the highest completion or reception yardage.
Yes, exactly.
Average. Why isn't he in the? I know I'm being silly, but it's just the point is it just kind of destroys the argument that these guys are the best for the year when they didn't play most of the year. So.
Now, I admit I'm a homer. I readily admit that I'm a homer. Okay, but if you're gonna go by,
Hang on.
Breaking news from the BS and Beer news.
all right,
Breaking news: Tomas is a homer.
And
I
another
reported
news-
I
here
love my
first.
Saints.
Water's wet.
Sky's blue.
I knew you said that one. Now, I readily admit, I love my Saints. You all know this because you know how I get bent out of shape and you all talk bad about my Saints.
True story.
Yes, we
True
know.
story.
True story. So, again, if I'm looking at this, Brady's number 1. Okay. Drew is number 8. In every statistical category except one, Drew Brees has Tom Brady beat. And every one but one. The only one is that how many Super Bowl rings he has. That's it.
Yeah.
Other than that, if you say to me, Tomas, you're starting a new team, you got these 2 old fossils. You got Drew Brees, 38. You got Tom Brady, 40, right? Is that correct? I think it's
He
something like
might
that.
be 41 now, huh?
Yeah.
Whatever it is.
I think he's 3 years older than him. I
All
could
right.
be wrong.
Who am I picking? Hands down, Drew Brees. I'm not going to pick a guy who's a wooden Indian back there. I'm sorry. I give him his props. Little crybaby Tommy Brady, as I refer to him. You know, because you got the rule.
Yeah, it
about,
sounds like you're giving him props.
I'm giving his props.
Crybaby.
You know,
I mean, think what it's like when he's not giving him his props.
I mean, just imagine. You know? Just get me started on like Michael Vick. But anyway, so just thinking about this, Tom Brady is a good quarterback. Tom Brady is part of a system, just like Drew Brees is. I don't think that either one of these players has quite the same career if they're playing with a different coach. So I think that they are products of their system and that they worked out well in their system. Tom Brady can read defenses. Tom Brady can throw the ball. All that's all well and good. But if you're looking at just statistics, and this is why I believe that Brees is an underrated quarterback. If you look just at statistics, Brees beats everybody. Everybody. The only thing is, Brady's got more Super Bowl rings.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, is that going to be the qualifier? Is the qualifier how many Super Bowl rings?
Well, that's the thing. And this goes back into the argument of the Hall of Fame.
Yep.
Do you get in a Hall of Fame, what, based on Super Bowl rings or based on your, with Marino? This is always the argument,
That's
right?
correct.
That's
correct.
Which quarterbacks that have lit it up, there were people questioning whether Drew Brees would make the Hall of Fame because he only had the one Super, or before he had the Super Bowl.
Right.
Let's say.
Right.
Let's say he had never gotten that Super Bowl, but still put up the numbers he has now, where he's going to wind up probably holding all the records by the time it's all said and done. And so it's kind of the same thing. Some of it's a popularity count. Some of it's based on historical, right? Was Tom Brady really the top player in 2018?
Yeah, because that's the thing. That's what Dave was saying. If it's just 2018, there's no way Brady's number one.
Right. He gets that because he's Tom Brady.
Exactly.
Now, on the other hand, you got a guy, Wentz is obviously not getting any historical cred because this is his first year.
Right, but big market.
But then you got a guy like Julio Jones at number 4 or whatever.
Right.
How is Julio Jones anywhere in the top? I mean, I'm sorry, but no.
By the way, just as a little side note on Julio Jones, just about every clip that they showed of Drew Brees when they were showing the top 100 when he's number 8, who do you think it seemed to be his number 1 receiver? Brandon Coleman. They showed highlight after highlight of Coleman catching the pass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And then if you look at the statistics.
Talk about one a day men's.
There you go. There you go. And if you look at the statistics, in reality, Coleman's numbers are actually better than Julio Jones's last year.
Okay, I didn't look at that. That can't possibly be.
He probably has more touchdowns. I mean, Julio Jones doesn't catch touchdowns. That's one
correct.
of the big.
That's correct.
Great receiver. He doesn't catch. He get like 3 touchdowns. Is a good year or whatever.
Carter.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't show up in the red zone.
Right. Right.
We give Brandon Coleman a hard time about playing the red. Julio Jones is non-existent in the red zone.
Okay. But you got to take into consideration why. And I'm no Julio Jones apologist, but he probably has 5 guys covering him. They're not going to let you.
I don't know. I mean, Atlanta's always had some other pretty good receivers. I mean, they got Sanu and Coleman and,
Sanu, the guy they just lost, what was his name, Gabriel or the speed guy?
I mean,
he wasn't really a red zone.
I mean, they don't have another Julio Jones, but nobody has another.
We don't have another Mike Thomas.
So,
Are we going back to that argument now?
Yeah.
I don't know. The thing about Drew Brees and the media, it doesn't seem like the media wants to give Drew Brees credit.
They don't.
Because they're looking for any argument against Drew Brees being, a Hall of Famer or, like it was at first. Well, he doesn't have a Super Bowl ring. Now he has a Super Bowl ring. It's like, he just throws up a lot of statistics. A lot of that has to do with the Saints' defenses have been so historically bad.
Well, that's the thing. That is the reason people give him such a hard time is because of the records. Some of the records that they put 7-9, 7-9, 7-9, and so you get it's video game numbers. It's they just racking up numbers. He's got Drew Brees throwing the ball just so he can get 5,000 yards. I mean, you hear a lot of those criticisms over the years about Drew Brees as opposed to Tom Brady or anybody else.
And, I mean, I don't know how you...
Because the Saints weren't a good team and because they were passing because they were down by 21 at halftime all the time. And, so that's why people don't want to, I think that's why he gets slighted in that way as opposed to...
I don't know how if anyone was paying attention that this year wasn't the year where you can see, look, you give Drew Brees a defense, he would have been... Because, listen, he was... for most of the year, kind of a secondary type player to the run game. And then all of a sudden, later in the season, when teams said, we're going to stop the run, which we all laughed about, it's like, hey, we're going to make Drew Brees beat us. And he did. He destroyed him. So the point is he hasn't lost anything. And it just shows, hey, if you want me to just sit back and in the twilight of my career and just hand the ball off, as long as we're winning and it's effective, he'll do it. And when you need me, I'm going to step up and be an all-world player.
I give you 2 games. 2 games that's a perfect example of what you just said, Dave. The Washington Redskin game.
Yep.
And the Minnesota Viking game.
Oh, absolutely. And that's the one going against a team that has a top-notch defense.
Yep.
When the Saints finally said, look, this isn't working, we need to put the ball in Drew Brees' hands, it became it was –
They closed the gap to the point that the Minnesota Vikings defensive linemen were huddled up on the sideline going, man, he's tearing us up. He's faking us out. He's doing all kinds of deceptive things. Well, that's because he's Drew Brees.
Right.
You know, he has the highest. If you want to use all that stuff about, well, he's racking up because we have a bad defense. Okay, let's take last year. We didn't have a bad defense last year. He had the highest completion percentage. He still was one of the top yardage quarterbacks in the NFL. Put us in the playoff. 1 play away from going on to the championship NFL game. Now, you don't get that from every quarterback that's out there.
No.
So,
I think that, I don't know, will he silence the critics? I don't know. I think there are just too many people out there that it's silly, because he's not a prototypical guy, because he's not 6'4", 220 with a cannon arm. They look at him just like, I don't know if he's. But when it's all said and done, how are you going to make the argument against him when he ends up with all the records?
And how many quarterbacks have come out of college who are 6'4", with a cannon for an arm,
and
we're done.
And another thing is, he gets the big criticism about being the system guy. If it wasn't, if he wasn't with Sean Payton and the Saints,
Tom
he
Brady's
wouldn't.
the same thing.
Well, that's my.
Aaron Rodgers.
So
is the
how
same
is
thing.
it that Belichick can be the greatest gift that football's ever been given?
Exactly.
Right.
And Tom Brady plays for him, but that's not why Tom Brady's so good. Tom Brady's just good because he was good, even though he was so great that he was a 6th-round draft pick coming out of Michigan.
7th, wasn't it?
Or 7th, whatever he was.
was
Either way, okay, he wasn't even close to being a high draft pick.
That was the 6th.
Was this a 6th?
Okay, and so So anyway,
I think. Okay.
No. Okay, so I don't know how this turned into, but it's kind of one of those flowing streams of consciousness. Is that how the people say it?
That's what
so
I do,
just all roads lead back to, and we talking about Drew Brees. Where's he going to be? I don't really know how to close this up, because I didn't know. We didn't expect us to go down this road.
Well, I can give you the other Saints players that you had asked me about.
Okay, yeah, the other Saints players.
I have it here, thanks to my assistant. That would be my wife. Lattimore was at 82.
We pay all that money to Tyler, sitting over there in the booth, doing nothing, and you have to get your wife.
I have to get my own assistant to do it.
Slipping up there, Tyler.
Right.
Slipping up.
Lattimore 82, Michael Thomas 81, Ingram 43, Jordan 26, Kamara 20, and Breeze 8. So there are your numbers.
Okay, so here's another question. Here's and if you can't tell by now, we really had about 4 things on the list, and we're just kind of like, oh, here's another question. How did the Saints represent? Who didn't make the top 100 that should have?
From the Saints?
Do you think that the Saints were properly represented?
I think there's only one player on the team that I would have said should have made the top 100.
Okay.
One person.
All right.
And that is Thomas Morstead.
Thomas Morstead.
Our punter. Because how many games did he get us out of hot water? How many times
he is a beast.
Turned the game around for us?
Now,
I'm a beast, Your Honor.
There you go.
Okay? I'm a beast. That's what I do, okay? She knew this when she met me. Now all of a sudden she got a problem with it.
All right. So, were there any other, and I know you may not know the answer to this.
I don't know the answer. I don't know if there are any punters or kickers.
Yeah, like my point is, it may just be one of those things where it's like, man, nobody's putting a punter kicker on the top 100.
I'd be shocked.
So I'm just saying, you're asking me if there was anybody who I thought was slighted who should have been in the top 100 from our team. And for me, the only fellow I can name for you, I thought the people that were on there were the representative bunch that should have been on there. Okay.
Heath, any guy you think maybe?
No, I love Thomas Morstead, and I don't argue with your point about it, but when you're talking about only 100 players out of the entire NFL, I think it's probably the Saints were well represented.
No, I think so too.
Yeah.
I think the people that should have been on were on.
Yeah.
Now, as to where their positions were, I could disagree with that.
Yeah.
Because Michael Thomas is no way he's like 81.
You know, about Jordan, too, though, he was what was it? He's the top graded 7th-year player or whatever.
Yeah, I saw that.
Is that what it was?
Yes,
and it
yes.
included Von Miller and
Everybody, yeah.
I'm trying to remember who else was on that list. The other top player. Oh, Julio Jones was one of them.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah.
Top 10 player.
You know, it's good to
These
see.
statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
I tell you, I got some new stuff. I
Yeah,
gotta
I
just
can
roll
play
it
with
out.
all these buttons now, I think.
Yeah, I thought I'd roll that out for
Yeah,
you.
the next half hour is going to be
Just
sound clips
Oh,
from
we,
this.
we got this.
He's a quarterback's coach. So, really, you know what he is? He's a donkey wrangler.
There you go. I like that.
That's one of my favorites.
I don't know how
There you
Donkey
go,
became part of the show, but now every time I hear something,
Yeah.
every time I hear something related to Donkey, I'm like, oh, I got to get this one, like this one here.
When we come back, oh boy, is your lawmaker a donkey banger?
Donkey banger.
Oh, there you go.
We got Donkey Wranglers, we got Donkey Bangers, we got anyway.
Oh,
All right. So y'all ready to take a break and see if we can come up with some more?
Let's
I
do
got
that.
stuff. Let's go. Let's
I mean,
take
you
a break.
ready? You
We'll
ready?
Take a break
Okay.
and come back.
Take a break. Y'all need to get a glass of hose water.
Hose water.
Hose water.
Hose water, right
All
here,
right.
brother.
Y'all don't go anywhere. When we come back, we can talk more about some hose water. Welcome back. It's the BS and Beer podcast crew. Heath Elson, Tomas Mauricio. I'm Dave Romero. We're going to talk a little bit about the Jameis Winston situation. It's probably the biggest news going on right now as it relates to the Saints. Jameis Winston suspended for 3 games.
At
now,
least.
At least. And actually, I will be honest, I haven't followed it. I heard the news. I didn't look too deeply into it. Little Dice and I had like a little Twitter exchange, and I said something about, well, you know, like how disappointed are the Tampa Bay, the brass for the Buccaneers with that selection, because he continues to show that immaturity.
Yep.
And Lil Dice was like, well, man, what are you talking about eating finger? I said, well, no, I'm really talking more about pushing Marshawn Lattimore behind the head when he was already out of the game. And you just continue down the road of childishness and immaturity. And that push behind the head, while it was really nothing, I mean, you know, it was nothing, but it really shows his childishness. I mean, it's just completely inappropriate. I mean, a mature person doesn't do that. If you're a childish, mature person, you say some dirty stuff to him. You don't actually go up on TV and push a guy behind the head. You cannot win that argument.
Yeah.
Right.
So now more details have come out about the incident that I didn't even realize.
Yeah.
And Lil Dice even conceded. He was like, "Oh well, I guess you're right," because I think he was on his way to defend Winston a little bit.
Yeah.
And then after I said a couple of things, he's like, "Wow, you know, there's a pattern of behavior here." But again, I didn't know all the details to how severe. You know, I thought it was just some antics in a Uber. I didn't realize that there could be some actual charges pressed against this guy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Tomas.
Yep. Well, I mean, everything that's come out to this point, he lied, his friends lied for him, and when the NFL started digging and doing an investigation, they found out that they lied. And I can tell you, this is like, it's like the FBI thing, right? If you do something wrong and you just fess up to it, okay. But if you lie to the FBI, your butt's in a sling.
Yeah, it's the cover-up.
Yeah. And so that's exactly what happened. They lied to the NFL. When the NFL started digging, they were like, well, hold on a second. You were in a car. There were 3 of you in the car at some point. But at some point, you were by yourself, even though you said you weren't.
Right.
And one of the 3 guys that was in the car is now in jail because he was accused of rape.
That's a great alibi.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, he's a good character witness.
exactly right.
Actually, he's the one that told him.
Yeah, he's the one who turned.
He told him Jameis Winston was in the car by himself.
Yeah,
Really?
Yeah, he gave him the lowdown, which is
God,
like,
you see,
what?
I'd like to know more about that because, like, that the old good old boy network or whatever, your buddies, you don't.
The other guy lied for him.
Yes.
But then when they went and talked to the guy that used to play at Vanderbilt, that's in prison now and being accused of rape, he went, no, he got in the car by himself. We weren't in there.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so,
and of course, like you said, it's just like a continuance of his past behavior. He was charged with rape when he was at Florida State. He was charged with stealing goods, of course, the infamous crab legs.
Yes.
Yeah.
And other things as well. And so, it's just a continuous. And by this point, the man's been in the NFL long enough. He is an adult. And if he cannot, by this point, fix his life and behave like a professional, now I will tell you, there was a writer, a sports writer in Tampa, who put out an article who said, look, you know what? It's time. It's time to cut him from the team or trade him to someplace else. I'm serious. There's a sports writer in Tampa who wrote this. Said we had enough of this guy. He's never going to lead us to a championship. He's not going to be the quarterback for this team. So it's time for us to just cut him loose, trade him, send him somewhere, and we're done with him. Can you imagine the number one sports writer in New Orleans writing that?
Here's the thing. I even made this comment that on several occasions that if Winston matures, he is a talented player. He wouldn't have gone as high in the draft if he wasn't physically talented. And I think to myself, being a NFC South guy, our team's in the NFC South, and if Winston ever matures, then you might be in a position where you have to face a good quarterback because sporadically he does play well.
Yeah.
It's just at some point, man, now, are they ready to cut this guy? Is it if you're the Buccaneers, are you ready to cut bait and try to take your Saints glasses off, Heath?
Yeah.
Are you ready to cut this guy?
Yeah. But it's still easy for me to say, even without being wrapped up in Buccaneer football and being in Tampa, and it's still easy for me to say. But
I think I know that's a tough question. I kind of laid
it's
on
a tough question, especially since it's only an accusation at this point,
right?
So I don't know if you got to at least play it out a little bit more and try. I don't know.
And I don't want to be one to, how they say that, like try him with public opinion.
Right.
But you have to believe that based on your experience with the guy, it's hard to give him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Listen, Matt Ryan, probably if you took a vote, the most hated team in the league for a Saints fan is the Falcons.
Yes.
Right.
Okay. So we took the vote. It's a yes.
Yeah.
If Matt Ryan got in trouble with an
I'd
Uber,
be shocked.
I would be shocked. I would make jokes. I would tease him. I would say all kinds of stuff. But having said that, there would be some benefit of doubt if I was being fair and honest. With Winston, I think that's pretty much been used up. Now, that's, again, just court of public opinion. It's just my opinion.
Yeah.
But it's not going to play out that way with the law. It's not like he already has strikes against him. But as opinion, I'll give Matt Ryan, the guy that we should all hate, I'd be like, oh, yeah, that's funny. He did this and call him names. But if you said, look, I'd be like, man, we don't know what really happened. And I would probably doubt, because as much as we give him crap, Matt Ryan seems like a relatively stand-up guy, right?
Yeah.
Has Winston done anything to strike you guys as a stand-up guy that probably didn't do something like that? Or does your history with him say, sounds like something
It's
he probably...
history.
Yeah.
Did Matt Ryan do anything inappropriate when he was at Boston College? The answer is no.
Of.
Has he done anything inappropriate since he's been an Atlanta Falcon? The answer is no. Okay. Now, turn around, and has Matt Ryan ever stolen crab legs from Publix? Okay. When you look at it, your history tells you what to expect. And no, we don't want to try him in a court of public opinion, but at the same time, you have to be serious about looking at what we have there. I dislike the Atlanta Falcons because of our rivalry for all these years, all the years I was a season ticket holder. Okay. But I can tell you right now, I was hoping that the Atlanta Falcons weren't going to sign Matt Ryan.
Let him walk.
Because I was hoping, hey, if he walks, you know what? I wouldn't mind him being a Saint. He's a good enough quarterback, and in a system, he might actually produce much better than what he's doing right now in Atlanta.
Maybe from years, and I got to tell you, I'm put this out there. Those who listen to the show, I hate the Panthers much more than I hate Falcons.
I know you do.
I don't hate Atlanta. I don't like them, but to me, it's kind of like, but I hate the Panthers. And when you first said that about Matt Ryan, I just think that I'm like, I don't know if I'd want him as my quarterback, but I tell you what, you make a good point. You put him in the right system, and now, you know what, I can hear, you hear that's people unsubscribing to the podcast as we speak.
Yeah.
Look, I'm just being realistic. How many players go from one team?
The opinions expressed by Tomas do not necessarily reflect the thoughts and views of David Romero or the BS and Beer podcast.
But they should. Please continue.
Yeah.
But they should. I'm just saying to you that if you look at it from a football, you asked Heath to take off his Saints glasses, okay? I'm taking off my NFL glasses and trying to treat everybody fairly. If they don't re-sign Cam Newton, I want no part of them. If they don't re-sign Jameis and Winston, I want no part of them. But if they don't re-sign Matt Ryan, I'm thinking, is it a plus for the Saints? Is he a guy that could come in and run Sean Payton's system? And my thought is, yes, he could.
No, listen, if you peel back all the different layers, I think most people would say, yeah, you'd probably get a pretty good run out of a guy like that. So.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, well.
All right, so that takes care of that. Now, since we brought up the thing about crab legs with Jameis and Winston.
Can I interrupt you a second? I just want everybody out there to know how close we were this week to not doing a show. My preparation level was, and I'm like, here we go. This is throwing it together. So go ahead.
Okay, well, Dave sent me a note saying, you know what, maybe we should just concentrate on the BS part of our name because it's a dead time for the Saints. Nothing's really going on. So, and I was like, okay, I can do that.
My initial thought was a regular show. I don't know what you're talking about it.
There you go. So I came up with a couple of ideas. Dave came up with a couple of ideas, and so we're just kind of pitching them out there and see if it hits it or not. So transitionally,
all right,
I was just trying to give us a transition.
Okay, yeah.
Since we're talking about the NFL South.
Okay.
Yeah. And there's been a lot of talk about, changing some helmets and changing some uniforms, getting more up to date to get the people involved, having better looking uniforms. And there was a big thing on a big article about how the Saints helmet is one of the most iconic helmets with the fleur-de-lis. And so I started doing a little research and I said, what endorsements? Because, we had this big horse race, Belmont, and you see the jockeys now, they all have their endorsements on their gear. And so I thought, well, what endorsements might the NFL allow on the new uniforms? And so with that in mind, I thought, well, okay, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. What could they possibly have?
Subway. Huh? The new 4.5-inch sandwich. That's my contribution. That's all. Wait. That. No.
Oh, my God.
Exactly. That's the good part there at the end. Oh, my God.
If y'all are not going to laugh at my jokes, I got 4 or 5 different laughs.
We need the clip from the horrible quotes commercial with the people saying
yes, exactly.
All right, go ahead.
So with that in mind, for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, there's if you're from New Orleans, you know better than to use this crappy spice. Okay? When you're in New Orleans, you use Zatarans, okay? That's the spice you use. Rex, Zatarans, you're good, okay? Old Bay? Well, if he's known for crab legs, Old Bay is your pick there for endorsements for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, going on from there, we go to the Carolina Scampers, right? Mm-hmm. Now, Dave hasn't seen this movie. It's a shame. Little Dice, I hope you're listening to the show and you write him something. Because, the Black Panther movie was a pretty exciting movie. However, I noticed that the men wore jewelry in that movie. And so what came to mind
little bling
was, yes, you got that fashion plate over there. At least he thinks he is.
Yeah.
So I think that they would have a new uniform that had a beautiful necklace on it, very chic looking, designed by Scam.
Yeah.
Yeah. However, not functional. Just like that. So there you go. That was their endorsement there. And then there you go. And then the final endorsement would be for the Atlanta Falcons.
Ooh.
Now, we all know that they're championship material. Mm-hmm. However, I understand that there's been a fight for endorsement there. There are a couple of different companies that want to give the endorsement. Lysol, Tidy Bowl. There are a couple of them because, they can't seem to find the ring, but the only ring they do find is in the men's room. So there you go. I think that they're the proper endorsement.
Completely unscripted. Yeah. I'm like, he didn't have a piece of paper. He just made it all up as he went.
I'm just saying, I think that these are the kind of endorsements that the NFL needs to approve.
For those teams. For those teams, yes. We need something a little bit...
a little higher up.
Yeah, a little higher class than
They
that.
said the NFL's having a hard time translating to the millennials.
That's correct.
They're not closing the gap to the millennials.
And I think that this would
do come up with some,
I think this would absolutely do it.
Not sure if millennials identify with Lysol, Old Bay, or I don't remember.
I don't know. When Old Bay now,
jewelry maybe.
Hang
I
on,
don't know.
Old Bay. That's what? What is Old
It's
Bay?
seasoning.
It's seasoning.
It's seafood
It's crab
seasoning.
boil, okay?
I know
it's
it sounds
powdered
like
crab boil.
It sounds like like maybe
Go
I'm
run
thinking
down.
Old Spice.
Go run down into Louisville and stop at Joe's Crab Shack. Joe's
crappy
Crab
place.
Shack.
I was wondering where you were going with that.
And get that little thing. Yeah, it comes in a little bag. They got the boil it, and it's got Old Bay all over it. You can find out. What
I don't
Old
know.
Bay-
It comes in a square. It used to come in a metal container. Now it's plastic.
Yeah.
Okay, but it's a square. It's I want to say it's like yellow, blue, and red. Okay, but the little square, the painting, the colors that they represent, right? But it's not bad. Okay, it's just not in the same league as Rex and Zatarans.
Oh, okay. Well, no, I think maybe I got confused with like Old Spice, and so put a little bit of that in,
Yeah.
like that.
Well,
could
be.
The seafood might taste better.
With a little spice on it.
To be honest with you.
There you go. There you go.
All right, boys.
So that was my contribution to the BS part today of the
BS.
All right. Well done. I was impressed that you just rambled that whole thing on. I don't know if you've been practicing it, but he just rambled the whole thing on
I am a
without any
professional.
type of, without any no script, no nothing.
It's like I do my 3 hours every day, and there's no script or nothing. I just off the top of my
He's
head.
a professional. He's
There
a
you go.
professional. All right. You got any last thoughts here? Closing?
Well, I got a whole
Oh,
bunch
man.
of stuff, but I know you. I thought we were going to talk about the sphincter dome.
No, that was Heath was supposed to bring it up. See, the stuff that we did try to prepare, we try to throw it to Heath. He does that to me all the time. I don't know if you noticed.
Yeah.
I turn to him, I'm like, blah, 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 and he
no.
just does.
No,
and he'll say a couple things. I'm like, take it away, bro. Take it away.
No.
So, Heath, what's your thoughts on the Mercedes Dome
Now we
in the Atlanta Falcons division area there?
Yeah.
Oh,
And I said there's one Superdome
That's
and there's
correct.
one Sphincter Dome.
There you go.
Oh,
there you go. There you go. There you go. There you go.
There you go.
And his finger doesn't close all the time.
Yeah. And that's where the Lysol comes in. That's
There
where the
you go.
endorsement comes
Kind
in.
of like, what's his name, the linebacker that we cut.
Marty? Now you're going someplace you shouldn't go. The poor man doesn't have a
Yeah.
sphincter back there anymore.
Well, I'm just saying it's similar. Okay, that might have been too far.
I think that's a
Yeah.
little bit too much.
I
You
want
need
to
to
apologize.
There you go.
I
Too soon.
apologize for anybody that I may have offended with that comment. All right, it's time to.
Order here.
All right.
Keep
Call it the order.
I said.
Order, I say.
Yeah. And we know how that went.
Yeah, that you end up shooting a
This
bunch
show's
of
gone
people.
right to the same
Yeah,
place.
right. The Titanic. All right, hey, don't forget to buy your hose water. Are we on the shelves yet, or are they gonna have to call the warehouse?
No, we're
remember,
not on
it's
the
a
shelves
prototype
yet, yeah.
We're not on the shelves yet. Okay, but this
The
right
trademark
here,
has been applied for. We got the
Yeah, the prototype.
we're
Yeah.
gonna set it up so that you can order your hose water, and we will be accepting Visa, MasterCard, American Express,
And let me guess.
Discover Card.
Oh, nope.
However, we will not accept any checks,
Oh,
but Bitcoin will
there
be
it is.
part of
There
our
it
payments.
is. There it is.
You can be assured of it.
And listen, even though we do all the work, if you put yourself on a program where we just automatically send you, minimum of 5 cases a month,
yeah.
you get a discount.
The absolute. That's
get a
the
discount.
best thing. And look, discounts are very important.
And it's all on us. We got to have the schedule. We got to ship it. We got to know where to ship it to. All the
Exactly.
dynamics
Yeah.
of
That's
hose
right.
water.
All you have to do is pay for the bottle of hose water, shipping and handling, and we'll make sure and get it out to you.
Get it
And
out.
then you can tell your friends that you are now a manly man because you're drinking hose water.
Hose water. None of that stuff you were talking about. What is it? The what is
Estrogen?
it? Estrogen. That's it. No, he went to this whole thing about like all the estrogen. And
Yeah.
The,
I'm going to plug a book. If you guys haven't, it's called Estrogeneration.
There you go.
It is. That's the name of the book.
That's
and
too-
it's
that's too
about,
clever.
It's about, yeah.
It's probably already out there.
No, it
the
is.
book is a real book.
It's a
Oh,
real book.
I thought you were saying you were going to
But
write
you
the
see,
book.
But that,
No,
he
it's
messed
I
up,
said
brother,
I'm
'cause we
plugging
should
a-
have a rollover. So
Yeah,
we can make some change.
I need an affiliate link.
There you go.
But anyway, yeah. But no, it's a good book, and it's all about all of the 85,000 plus chemicals that we're exposed to and the estrogen mimicking effects that they have in the human body. And it is the reason why men have half the testosterone and girls are going into puberty at 7 years old. And when you read it, it's even worse than you can imagine right now when you actually get into it and start reading it.
Fascinating. I mean, I don't know. I think we could do 10 minutes on this. I mean, the stuff you were saying, I was just like, no way.
Yeah.
And
No,
so
no,
it's
yeah,
fascinating.
sure. Yeah.
So we just sold some more books.
Well-
but don't forget, get the books, but don't forget You hose water. Hose water.
Turn it.
Wait. Hose water.
There you go.
All right?
There you go.
And anyway.
Coming sometime in 2019, the book, The Making of Hose Water.
Yeah.
absolutely.
Now that there's a
We have to have
whole
that.
Hose
the whole
Water,
thing.
the autobiography.
There you go. There you go. Absolutely. We'll show you from beginning to end.
Yeah. The
From the faucet
Yeah.
to the spigot to the end of the
There'll
hose.
even be Kindle and audiobook versions.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Who could we get to read that for us?
Yeah, we'll have to get somebody to narrate
somebody,
that.
yeah.
the
somebody-
history of hose. Oh man, let's get what's his name from Shawshank Redemption.
Morgan Freeman.
Yeah, Morgan Freeman. You got to get Morgan Freeman to do
Yeah.
it. I mean,
He could definitely make a story about hose water sound good.
dude, I think you could do it.
There you
I
go.
think you do it. We get just the whole thing.
He's done with that whole visa thing now. I'm sure he'd be interested.
Oh yeah.
Exactly. Now that they've been accused of all kinds of things, I don't know if we want to.
Oh, that's true. We might not want to talk
We
about
don't
that.
want to.
Oh.
Because
I don't have a good Morgan Freeman. You know, when I touched her, no, that's not even close.
no.
No, sir, I did not touch her.
Now Bill Cosby might be interested.
yeah,
Yeah.
You do it.
They got the Bill
There you
Cosby
go.
and doing the things and
There you go.
stuff about.
But
the
personally,
Jell-O
I think the
pudding pops.
bestseller. Listen, I think the man that we could get to do this job, a man that just stands right out to me when it comes to hose water. I did not make love to that woman.
There you go.
You got plenty of
There you go.
hose.
I think that William Jefferson Clinton would be the perfect spokesperson.
Spokesperson for hose
Hose
water.
I didn't
Yeah.
know she was 16. There you go.
All right.
I think he would
my
sell a lot of bottles of hose water for us.
Yeah.
If
yeah.
you've never seen the movie Primary Colors,
There you go. There you go.
go out and see it.
Dave's not seen it?
No.
Rent
Oh, man, you missed out, brother.
You guys are just better, more well read than I am.
Yeah.
So I don't even, that stuff just go right over my head. So
It was a movie with John Travolta, and he's portraying a president running for. Was he running for reelection? No, he's
No, running for office,
he's a
president.
governor running
For office.
a governor of a southern state running for office, and he's doing Clinton.
Oh, right, right,
he's doing
yeah.
Bill Clinton, and so yeah.
did he say anything about the Royale with cheese?
No, not in that one. That's a different movie.
I thought I saw something there. Anyway, all right. I think that's about enough.
Really?
I mean, we haven't hit the
We're
mark.
having a good time.
We are, but you know
We're
what?
enjoying ourselves.
We have a reputation to maintain.
We do.
Yeah.
Well, you
people
must
gotta-
better erase this entire show.
Yeah,
then.
no, I know. No, that's like we. Okay, I'm getting into all the behind the scenes things, but
Yeah.
we have some other radio stations that, and I worry we put this kind of stuff out there, and I'm putting it out because that's what we do. This is who we are.
This is a good
They're gonna
show.
be like, oh, well,
Listen, you have to first put in mind your listener.
Uh-huh.
Our listeners enjoy hearing
I think you're insulting our listeners right now.
No, they enjoy this. I'm certain that there were many people who are laughing. They'll probably listen to the show more than one time on the podcast.
Yeah, to catch those little.
I got a feeling
clever-
right about now there's nobody left to be insulted.
No, right.
now.
That's a good point. That Lil Dice, he hangs. I bet Lil Dice still
Yeah.
hanging in there.
I'm
Yeah.
sure. Your buddy probably still hanging in there.
Yeah. Oh, Wesley.
good friend?
Wesley. I think Wesley's hanging in there.
You're a good friend
Yeah.
there,
I'm
you
trying
know.
to think of who else. There might be a couple of more.
Yeah.
You know, but no. I
We
think
have
it's
a
just
lot of followers who enjoy the
Dude.
entertainment value.
It is. What is this? June.
Yeah.
We have another 3 weeks or so of this. It's the people listening to this podcast right now about the same as the people standing out watching Saints practice on Airline Highway. So. Not about the same, you know. Nobody. What I'm trying to say, you know. Get
Okay.
it? You get it?
Okay.
Hold
I
on.
get it.
Sad. That was a sad comparison.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
No, you have to give us credit. You have to give yourself credit. This is the top podcast, the top Vcast about Saints football. This is it. If you missed this, you missed it all. We don't curse on here. We don't have to stoop to that level.
So now,
oops.
Yeah. Now insulting every other podcast out there.
I'm trying to be entertaining.
There might be one or two out there that don't cuss, because I listen to a lot of podcasts. There might be one or two, but the rest of them. But that might be why we don't have more listeners. Maybe if we drop some more, like Heath, I got to be careful what I say. I encourage him.
I enjoyed the part that you bleeped out his
You're like,
F word.
yeah, so
I
I'm
thought
a-
it was very well done.
I'm like, hey, no, we don't cuss, and that. I'm like,
Oh, come on. You
man.
beat me out?
Yeah.
Oh.
If
It
you
was
actually
good.
listen to the
I
show every
don't
once in a
listen to
while.
this
It
shit.
wasn't your normal beep, though. It was a really interesting little sound effect that he used to bleep you out.
Oh.
Yeah,
I
it
don't
was
even
good.
remember. I don't remember.
My
don't
wife
even know.
always knows what I'm listening to because when I go to the gym in the morning, by the way, I've gone to a new gym, but when we go to the gym in the morning, I always put on a podcast just to hear myself talk and to laugh. That's what my wife says. So you listen to podcasts? She says, yeah, you make yourself laugh, right? Yeah, okay.
When you're not talking, you listening to yourself talk.
That's correct.
That's right. Yeah. So, all right.
It's the best conversation I've had all day long.
Yeah, with myself.
That's right.
Oh, man.
Now, I had to go to a new gym.
Okay, tell me about the new gym.
Yes, because, the gym I was going to, get a load of this. I'm serious now. The gym I was going to sends me an email Friday at 10:30 in the morning to tell me that they're effectively closed at noon. And that's it. We're done. And I'm like, dude, really? So I hustled down there. I'm like, okay, so you didn't give me any heads up. 2 days maybe would have been nice.
So
but no.
closing, the gym's closing.
They're gone.
Done.
If you go there now, there's no machine, there's no signs. I mean,
what gym?
Should I say the name of the gym?
I don't know. There's a lot of grunters over there.
No
grunters.
No, it's not that kind of gym. No. It's UFIT. I'll tell you the name of the gym. The gym was called UFIT.
Oh, okay.
And they're a national gym.
Yeah.
And they were on Nicholasville Road, and they decided to close up. So now the only one that's open is the one all the way on the other side of town on Richmond. Well, it's 20 minutes there, 20 minutes back. That's 40 minutes in the morning I have to drive.
Oh, is that
Hell
the one
no.
that was by the old dead Kmart?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So I went there at 10:30, a little after 10:30 because I got the email at 10:30. So I go there, I talk with the people there. Hey, we're locking up at 12 o'clock. While I was talking to them, they already had people taking the signs down. The sign people there, they take the big sign off the front of. I was like,
you go to wipe your head with the towel. And
yeah, we'll take that damn towel from me. And I was like, really? So anyway, I joined a new one, Planet Fitness.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Huge facility. Oh my God.
Oh, you were saying huge.
Big.
I thought you were talking about the women. They got is that the place with the two-way mirrors? See, no.
The two-way mirrors.
No, but they pass out a ruler to every woman who walks in.
All right. This is.
But anyway, I told them you weren't a member, so not to worry. So in any case, so I'm to this new gym. The machines, they're nothing like I've used at the other place had Cybex machines. Okay, I'm used to Cybex. So now I got to change my whole routine. It's 2 floors. All the ab stuff's on the second floor. I'm like, dude, I got a bad knee. I got to go up to the second floor to use the ab machine? Are you serious?
You should see him. You got a bad
If you're
knee,
in
but
the
it's
gym
rock
complaining
abs.
about, if you're in the gym complaining about going up a flight of stairs, you're doing it wrong. I mean, that's all I can say. You're doing it wrong.
Well, I'm just saying, hey.
He rock hard abs, but he can't walk up a flight of stairs, man. But he rips
That's
off his
right.
shirt.
Tell them
Rips off his shirt,
they need
man.
to put
It's
the
just
leg
like,
machines
doosh,
up
doosh.
on the upstairs, so you.
Well, I enjoy doing 200, crunches every day.
Do you?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't even work out no more. It's hard. Like, now it's like, because you go and you got all them grunters in there.
This place actually has a big giant light, and it says, for grunters, because they don't want people grunting in the place.
Oh, right. They just kind
And
of
so if
shame them.
somebody grunts, exactly. Bing! The light goes on, makes all kinds of noise. Like, I heard it today.
Shoot,
I was like, what the hell is that?
I'm so far behind that. I got like the one plate, and I'm like, clang, clang. Hey, I'm the one plate guy. Clang, clang. Hey, can anybody get too much weight on here? Clang.
Well, I'm so sorry for you. But,
Oh, yeah, man. No, dude, I don't even.
But it's a nice, clean place. It's a big, giant place. And I guess I'll have to adjust my schedule and, be able to get it done. But got to be there by 6 o'clock. It's 24/7. When we were there this morning at 6:30, the place was packed at 6:30. So I told my wife, I said, well, we got to get here at 6 now instead of 6:30 because I don't want to have to wait for a machine. Yeah,
No,
so.
I can't even imagine it. All right, well, y'all
So
ready?
there you go.
Y'all ready to wrap this up?
I didn't see anybody from Oshner there. So that was important.
He's never ready to wrap this up.
No, never.
I'm just going to start demanding that we wrap it up.
All right, I guess I'm
Tyler, hit the button, man. Just hit the button.
Thank y'all for watching this week, listening this week. We'll have more Saints to talk about when there's more Saints news, but until then, I ain't going to lie to you. This is probably what it's going to be like. So hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah, you did, I'm sure.
We'll talk to you later.
Later. You took my line.